What's up, everyone? We're going to break down the burpee today. I want to show you three variations, starting with sort of the most basic progression and kind of working into what I'm looking for what I call a strict burpee. So, I'm going to run clip. Let's see what they look like. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. The first variation is about as strict as you can get. I'm going to literally take each component of the movement and just break them up. There's going to be really no explosive element to this, but this is, if you can't do this, then I wouldn't recommend trying to do it where you're jumping into the movement, because you need the range of motion, the core strength to do this. So, arms up overhead. Some people don't do this. It's not the end of the world, but it's always a good idea to just get those arms up overhead, get that opened up. Then from here, I'm going to not just lean forward. I'm not going to slump forward. I'm going to pull my hips backwards just like a deadlift. I'm going to hinge down. My spine will round a tiny bit at the end just because, I need to be able to get down there, and some people can do this with a perfectly straight back. I'm okay with a slight rounding of the back because my body's, we'll say, essentially unloaded, meaning I'm not like doing this with a weight vest on or carrying some weight. I plant my palms down. Important, plant your palms, not your fingertips. From here, I shift my weight into my shoulders. I'm going to step back with one leg, step back with the other leg, and I'm now in a plank. From here, I'm going to do a strict push-up, down, up. That is a strict push-up. Again, if you can't do a strict push-up, this movement's not for you yet. You can work on maybe just stepping into this position, but don't do a push-up if it's not something you can do. I see a lot of really kind of crappy push-ups in things like boot camps, and not to harp on boot camps, but people will say, yeah, I did 20 burpees today, and I'm going, well, that's awesome, but I know for a fact that you struggle doing one push-up, so how'd you do 20 burpees? So maybe the push-up quality wasn't great. So there are variations. You can leave the push-up out, but for all intents and purposes, what I'm going to show you is what a full one looks like. I go through a strict push-up. I'm going to step back. I'm going to step back. And in a perfect world, I could step my feet all the way up to where my hands are. But from here, I'm going to shift my weight back into my heels, just like a deadlift. And then from here, I'm now in a neutral spine, and I'm going to stand all the way up. So it's really important that you don't just step back into this. Like, I wouldn't want to stand up from this position here, which is what a lot of people do. Shift back into a neutral spine and then stand up. Boom, rep is done. Next variation, and there's a little construction truck behind me, so hopefully it's not too loud, but next variation is this. I'm going to go down, same way I went before, hinge down, plant my palms. Now, instead of stepping back one leg at a time, I'm going to bring both legs back together. Jump, and land. Now when I land, what I don't want to see is land and then giant collapse through here. Okay, when I jump, I'm landing in a strict plank, and I don't go any lower than that. I land into my plank. Now from here, there's my strict push-up, push, and then from here I'm going to work on jumping back. In a perfect world, I'll be able to jump back where my feet land right next to my hands. Jump. We'll just say close enough. I'll work on my hip mobility, but this is close enough. From here, same thing as before. I shift my weight back into my heels. My spine is now out of that slumped position, and now I can stand up. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in real time, just so you can see what it looks like not in slow motion. Okay. Last variation is the we'll just say what a standard burpee will look like. Later on, I'll make a video on what I call the unstrict burpee, where I actually allow the spine to extend on the way up, which it's actually easier to do more reps faster this way. And it's not necessarily bad, but you're not going to do it. It's kind of like the kipping pull-up. I don't hate kipping pull-ups, but I don't do a kipping pull-up if you can't do a strict pull-up, because that's sort of the precursor. If you can't do that, then don't do the explosive version of it. So we'll get to that one later on. But from here, I'm going to set. Now from here, when I go down, I'm going to hinge down, but I'm going to try to do the whole thing quickly. So you can already see that I'm getting ready to jump. I'm starting to coil my knees. Boom, I plant my palms. The second my palms land, by the way, my weight is here. Okay? My shoulders are loaded. So from here now I can put all my weight in my shoulders and jump backwards. And you can see that what I'm doing is, as I'm jumping backwards, my elbows are already bending. So when I land, I'm using my push-up to actually catch me. This is my shock absorber. Catch. But you can see that, again, I'm in a nice straight line. I didn't let my spine collapse. I'm going to use my push to push up. I'm using the momentum of my push to spring me back forward. And when I land, this time what I did is I jumped far enough to where my hands, you can actually see here, I'm actually completely in the air right here. So when I land neutral spine. I'm in a squatty, we'll say jump position, and then I'm going to spring up, jump, do my little cheerleader jump, land, and then I would move on to my next one. Now, I only did one here, but when I jump, if I was going to do a rep right after this, I would land and begin my next rep. My legs would be bending, or I'll say I'd be hinging immediately for my next one. I'll try to splice together something to see what it looks like. So from here, I jump, and I'm going to land. Again, a little bit of a splicing, so a little bit of a gap there, but when I land, I'm already hinging down. I'm right into my next one. So let me show you what this looks like in real time one more time, and then we'll call it a video. Alright, that is the strict burpee. Again, you talk to people, they'll say, oh, that's not the way I learned it. Well, I'm not going to say people are right or wrong. All I'll say is the most important thing is make sure that you are not collapsing. There should be no loss of tension. My body is, whether this is explosive or more of a slower grind, I'm not losing tension in my body. So if you're not able to, if I'm not able to do this, without breaking, this movement is not for me. Okay, we'll call that a video. Any questions, let me know. Again, the burpee, I always tell people, you don't have a gym around you. There are so many things you can do. Just keep moving. This is a great, great option. All right, give it a try. Let me know how it goes.